Thanks for tuning in. My name is Jerry, and you have reached my channel, Carnivore Jerry, in the middle of the forest. I am driving right now to my tanning appointment of the day, and I would like to discuss on my way into work topics as it relates to the health of our pets. Now, this is not a channel that gives medical advice for people or for pets. However, I'm giving you what had worked and maybe didn't work for our pets. So, with that being said, if you have any stories that you would like to put down below as it relates to your pets, your animals, cats, dogs, hamsters, goldfish, whatever, please put it down below and let's talk about it. Until then, gotta go. The first diagnosis I would like to speak on would be cancer. And Jack and I have been together now since 1995, married for 28 years, and have had 3 pets that had succumbed to cancer. The first was a cat, and he lived to be 18 years old, primarily an indoor cat. The other 2 were both German Shepherds, and they died, one from cancer internally. It started in her stomach, and the next one had it in her bone. We had her taken to the University of Wisconsin, flew in a specialist, a surgeon, that would remove her shoulder and her leg, hence removing the cancer. Brought her home, and the emergency vet here, because she was very uncomfortable. Obviously, the poor dog lost a leg. So we had taken her into the vet, and the vet had said, I want to run x-rays on this dog. So she ran one x-ray and said, this dog is loaded with cancer on the inside. So if you look at our Jackson and my relationship alone, since we've known each other for 30 years, we have eaten the proper human diet only in a short period of time. 8 years. Before that, it was the standard American garbage diet. And what we did with our pets is the same. We fed them what we thought they were supposed to eat because of nutritional information. The bagged dog food is good for dogs. The canned Alpo with all of the fillers and all of the junk. We have since only learned to feed our pets the proper animal diet, how animals are intended to eat in nature is meat. Animal is a carnivore. So our current Ladybug 2.0, when we first fed her according to the breeder's directions 4 cups daily, the dog would devour it like a machine in 90 seconds. She was starving. We quickly turned that around and turned her into a carnivore dog. Now, I know that you have to slowly but surely acclimate dogs off of dog foods onto other dog foods. So when we had gone on vacation, we took her back to the lady, the breeder that we got her from. And she said, you're not feeding the dog enough food. We were in the middle of a transition of feeding her differently from the Purina Pro that she fed the 4 cups daily, to eating 2 pounds of beef. And that took a while for her to be able to acclimate to the food, no doubt. Since then, we've learned that her diet is such, she's pretty sedentary, but think of it this way, she's living with senior people, so we are pretty sedentary as well. My husband is primarily at home with the dog during the day, so we have tuned it down to about a pound of meat, I should say meat, because we give her all meat, dehydrated chicken treats. And you've seen me do her dog food prep before, so I don't have to go through that routine. I reflect back to when I was a child and our parents' dog. She was just a little fluff ball. I mean, she looked as though she was a mixed breed. That's what I'm meaning. She was mixed with perhaps a terrier, perhaps a wiener dog, but very small. And when she was about age 8, the dog was diagnosed with diabetes. And of course, my mother, that had a diabetic daughter, my eldest sister, contracted diabetes as a child. My mother knew better. Hence, my mother said, I know I am going to be feeding this dog a high protein, low carbohydrate diet, and they completely stopped feeding her any of the bagged or processed dog food, just meat. And sometimes it even meant eating the fine Usinger's sausage. They're a sausage maker, a German sausage maker, one of the founders of Milwaukee, if you will. They have all beef hot dogs and Jackwurst and fresh liver sausage. So the dog ate that and lived to be 18 years old because the dog was extremely well taken care of, eliminated all grains, no more people food, and that's what made that dog thrive. So our thoughts now, Jax and myself, is less processed food for us, yeah, but also for our pets. Our pets do not need potatoes and oatmeal and rice and corn and any of that stuff, because as we've learned, the vegetables that go in are the same vegetables that come out. A high protein diet is what God intended for animals. God intended animals to be carnivorous. So Ladybug is 5 years old, just turned 5 last year, and we anticipate that she's going to live a long and healthy life with us, cancer-free. But we don't necessarily know what to say to people, friends and family, that still insist on feeding their dogs the bag dog food. They say, for example, the friends of the family, well, we feed our dog science diet, and the vet says this is the best. Or you see the influencers on YouTube saying this is the best. That do what's best for you. Do what's best for the dog, or your cat, or your bird, or your fish, whatever animals that you love. Do what's best for them. The proper animal, cat, dog, bird, fish, diet that you can possibly do. And it's not very expensive. If you talk only feeding your dog ground beef, the cheapest, the big 10-pound tubs that you can get, chubs, they're called them chubs, that you can get at Costco or Sam's Club or Walmart, get that. They love it. So whether they eat raw diet or a cooked diet, feed them the proper pet diet. That's just my opinion, and my opinion for today. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. And we will talk later in the week, all during the week. Cheers, everyone.